What's up, guys? The last video I did, I asked a bunch of color options, and the number one color was Honeyburst, the second color was purple and yellow. I was tempted to do it, but I wanted that body to sell, and I blinked. So this one, for my 50,000 subscribers, I'm gonna actually give this one away and do purple and yellow. So this is a one-piece Angel Step quilted maple top from Kimball Hardwoods. This is some unknown Chinese back. I found a couple project bodies I've been sitting on, so I resawed a little bit of it off, routed for humbuckers, did the back route, and I'm gonna give this away to you guys. The center line is drawn, and we're gonna do a purple and yellow. Posted on Instagram asking what to do, and everyone said do whatever, which didn't help at all. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a purple fade into yellow. I thought about doing a dragon's breath, but I didn't like the way that looked. And since I've got this like grain of figure running through, I thought it would look cool. So we're gonna try that. But before we do anything, we're gonna test. And we're also gonna move this away so I don't ruin it this time. I've got a little bit of the piece from last time. And what I want to test is the purple into yellow and see what color comes out of it. That way, what I think I'm going to have to do is just leave like a line clear and then just go up to it and back so it fades from purple to natural to yellow. We're going to try that. So we're going to start with yellow. We'll rub yellow on here. Like so. This is just an unsanded piece, just straight from Mr. Kimball. So that's the yellow, and this is purple. I have to get a little bit more purple from my friends. And what we're gonna do is stain the farther part and then bring the color towards it. So start back here. And then just sort of feather it down. Purple is one of those really finicky colors, and I can see it's so much darker. I actually think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dilute this. So what I'm going to do is start with heavy purple up here and then dilute half of it and come back down, because this is just, even like the little bit of feathering, it's just sitting on the top. It's not actually sinking in, and if I press it down slightly, it's already sinking in, which I don't want. And then what I want to see is if I mix the colors, what's going to happen, like that. So if I'm going to do like a real fade versus a natural fade, how's it going to come together? And it kind of turns brown, so purple, brown, yellow. That's not too bad, actually. I could live with that. And then you can see I've got the yellow up here. That might actually look pretty cool as a fade. And if I come back with the yellow, yeah, it sort of peels that color back. Man, this is gonna look cool. It's actually like a honey to purple. So I'm going to think about this while I go run some errands, see how it dries, and then we're going to do it. So we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so I talked to one of my power viewers as well, and what I figured out I was going to do is this looks actually pretty awesome. Now that it dried, I get like a brownish yellow honeyburst back to yellow. So I'm not going to do the clear separation. I'm actually going to do the full fade. I'm going to do the full fade sort of following this line. So I'm going to do purple up here darker and then yellow down here. I've got a rag and some yellow, and I'm going to apply the yellow first. And we're going to try and do a little bit clearer on this side. And you notice this time, I'll pour it over to the side because I don't want to make that mistake again. So we're going to fade this, color this here first. We want the yellow in first, so that way I can get the purple to overlay it. So we'll take the yellow going across, and we'll sort of fade the yellow out here. Can use a lot more yellow. So 50K. Thought I would have gotten there a while ago, but I know I'm not the most entertaining person at times, so oh well. I always appreciated the Bob Ross and the Norm from This Old House. I'd always watch that with my dad on Saturdays, so I always thought I could do that. And the one thing that always amazed me was how they had all the tools set up, and that's what it really was about, was setting up the tools and going from there. So we'll pull this up a little bit further. Still trying to go light on the yellow here. What I'll do is I'll spend a little more time sanding that out. Go a little bit heavier here. And then we will add some purple. I'm not sure how far I'll bring in the purple, but this sort of area will get faded and the purple. So here's my purple rag I used earlier. And if you guys remember, purple is a huge pain. It goes green when you apply it really dark. So we're going to be careful. This was sanded to 320, and I sort of resanded it again to make sure all the scratches were out. So I'm going to move to the side here and do this feathering. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do at the back. I'll let the owner tell me what to do there. Remember, if you want to participate in this, you have got to be subscribed and leave a comment. Alright. So we'll pull a little bit more of that down. And even I'm freaking out at this point, but I think I'll get it. All right, so we've got the yellow rag. Actually, we'll use the old yellow rag. We're going to wash this together. See, we're pulling the purple across, and then what we'll do is we'll bring the purple back. Alright, so we pulled that across. Then we'll take the yellow and now sort of fade it along that line. My big concern is keeping this clean, and so what I'll do is I'll just sort of wipe it a little bit bigger like this. Pull that color down slightly further. Feeling it. Feel like I'm getting there. I didn't drip on the piece of wood either. Alright. Very light fading right there. One more clean rag with the yellow. Cut this up. Gonna try and not get my gloves to ruin it, but see here, you can just keep that fade pretty clean. Now the one thing I will say is that I notice it's not muddy, which is really good. That color fade is okay. It's not perfectly ideal, but I'm gonna roll with it, obviously. I think when I use the steel wool, it'll lighten this and I'll get this to pop. This, I guess this is a little bit muddy, but this is clean, and I'm gonna let it sit overnight. Actually, at this point, maybe I could have brought the purple down slightly, like so. That actually helps a lot, but I don't want to go too far. Well, that's pretty good. So I've probably not exactly on the line that I want. Let's bring that over a little more. Probably need to do that to keep it on my line. Gotta keep my colors clean. Alright, now we're gonna let it sit. This isn't great. That's not great. That's great. That's great. So let it sit. When I hit it with the steel wool, I should get all the colors to pop with the figure to pop as well. But I'm gonna let it sit. What's up, dudes? Let this sit for a little bit. Not 100% happy with the way this turned out. I think what happened was that I sort of had the wide band of coloring too much. I think if I had more purple here and more yellow here, it would turn out better. So we're gonna fix that, and we're gonna do that using the steel wool trick. So I've got a piece of steel wool. This is fine grade steel wool. What I'm gonna do is rub out a lot of the color, and then I'm gonna come back and bring the color closer together, and hopefully I can get sort of this muddiness tighter, and I think that'll be the trick. I'm gonna use the steel wool for about 10 minutes. I'll fast forward through that, but I'm gonna apply a decent amount of pressure. I don't wanna sand here because I think the sand is gonna, I just don't think I'm gonna get the effect that I want, especially since I know purple is finicky. So we'll just apply heavy pressure and go back and forth. What I really think I wanna do is get darker yellow here and more purple. So we'll play. Alright, so after using the steel wool, I can tell I'm really close. What I need to do is just bring the purple down here more and heavy up on the yellow, and I should be done. It's close, it looks a lot better, so I'm at least happy for that. But I know I gotta bring the purple down more. I'm gonna do something I normally don't do, which is dilute the purple. Purple is a little bit of a pain, and I haven't had great luck with diluting the dyes. But I'm gonna do that anyway. I'm gonna just dilute with a little bit of neutral from Angelus. So I'm gonna put in, oh, I don't know. Let's say 2 ounces and 1 ounce of neutral. Well, maybe 1.5, because that's a lot of dye. Got some clean t-shirts here. More dye than I normally use, but at least it's slightly diluted. It looks way more blue now that's diluted, which is not what I want. But let's see. So essentially I said from here down we want purple. Make it darker up here. We get an even coloring. That's pretty close. We'll switch gloves and apply some yellow. I know if I don't switch gloves, I'm gonna have a huge mess, so I've got a clean rag. So the yellow goes on much darker now, which is great. So we'll keep that a hard yellow on this side. And now we're gonna blend it a little bit tighter. Let's see what it does. Like that. That was bothering me up here. It wasn't equal. Just dab it. So I think when it's tighter, it looks so much better. And when I bring it out too much, it looks terrible. So I'm gonna stop using that rag. And what I'm gonna do is go over the yellow right here and try and stop that sort of hard bleeding edge here. You can see I'm picking up some of that yellow. I want that line to be tighter. So we're just gonna go back and forth, try and keep it tight. See, now that is so much cleaner than before. I've kept the colors in a smaller section. I like the way that looks a lot better. So I've got more yellow, a shade, a blend, a little bit of a blend, and purple. I think that's what I want. And I know when I hit it with the steel wool just a little bit, it'll get the figure to pop a little bit more. It's definitely a unique color scheme. And I think once I hit it with sanding sealer, it'll pop a lot better. You can see it's sort of like the, I think a red, brown, yellow on this figure would be awesome. That's what I'm seeing in the second angel step top I've done. Someone had bought one of these tops from Kimball about a year ago, and they did that and it looked great. I don't know why I haven't replicated that yet, but Always trying something new. All right, so we'll let this sit. Notice I haven't played with it as much as I normally would. A little hesitant to even do anything. I do know I need a little bit of purple up here. I think a purple yellow on the back would be interesting. But we'll let the winner decide. I kind of want to hit it once more yellow, but I'm not. Alright, we're done. Come back in a couple hours. Alright, we're really close. I'm only going to use a little bit of steel wool on the top here just to pull a little bit of the color out. I got the purple to come down nicely. I've got the streak, and then I've got the yellow. So we'll just fast forward this here and just pull this out. I'm not going to use too much pressure. I can see it doesn't need it, but I'm going to be very careful on how I do this. We're then going to apply 4 coats of sanding sealer. You got to use sanding sealer to lock in the color before you put any oil or anything else over it. If you don't do that, you'll get a mess when the color comes back up. So 4 coats of sanding sealer. Thanks for watching, guys. Add a comment, subscribe, and this could be yours. This is my 50K giveaway. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.